And I'm hella young. They call me Zombie Ray.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros are comments made by Tyson Fury involving Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua. So Michael Benson tweeted a quote from Tyson Fury when he was interviewed by Behind the Gloves, in which Tyson Fury said, "Yeah, I believe Usyk beats Joshua if they fight, but I bet they don't. Why fight Usyk and get paid like 10% of what he can against me? Forget the belt, vacate. We're not in boxing to fight unknown guys. We're in boxing for the best fights." That's a quote from Tyson Fury. And so, and then here you have Eddie Hearn divulges new obstacle in front of Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. And that new obstacle is basically they're saying Alexander Usyk, because Alexander Usyk will not step aside from Joshua title shot, says Eddie Hearn. So, fellas, there's an obstacle in front of Undisputed, even if Anthony Joshua beats Kubrat Pulev, and that obstacle is Alexander Usyk. Tyson Fury said he believes that Usyk is going to beat Joshua, so Joshua should just vacate a belt and fight him and make the biggest fight. What's your thoughts on that? I'll start one off with G.
First and foremost, I'll say, Tyson Fury's full of it, man. Like, bruh, you know you want Undisputed. Best believe if Tyson gets all the belts, he gonna be gassed about being Undisputed, just like he be gassed about being lineal. So when he was talking about like Undisputed doesn't matter, vacate, I'm not believing him on that one. Now in regards to Usyk, I mean, hold on, is that the question that you asked? My fault. It was about Usyk.
It's just about Tyson Fury advising Anthony Joshua to vacate.
Oh yeah, so I mean, when he's like, I'm assuming that 10% is hyperbole, right? But like he is kind of right. Like you're not gonna generate the type of money you would generate if you fought Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna be huge in the U.S., obviously in the U.K. You know what I mean? Like their names are so known around the world that it'll be a huge mega fight. Usyk, he's known in the boxing world, but so that'll still be a great fight. But a lot of casuals don't necessarily know Usyk, just like a lot of casuals don't really follow the cruiserweight division. And because Usyk hasn't really done much in the heavyweight division, you know, I'm not gonna say it'd be like 10% of the Fury fight. I'm not gonna say that, but it'll definitely be smaller, you know. And so Tyson Fury is correct on that standpoint. But again, you know, doesn't mean it isn't a quality fighter. So AJ got some great options right now for some great fights this upcoming year. So yeah, so that's my thoughts on what Tyson Fury said about the Usyk fighting Joshua. And hold on, I'll say this: I don't believe Joshua will lose to Usyk. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Dollar Bill.
I don't know. It's starting to get a little bit concerning to me. I like when Tyson Fury goes at Deontay Wilder, right? And I like when he made a couple comments about AJ when the whole picture thing came out. But I don't want him to be concentrating about what another man got going on in his career and what he got going on. You should be focusing on the guy with the right hand right now. I don't want you to get too comfortable after the destruction that you had laid down, you know, after you done laid down the smackdown. I don't want you to get too comfortable. That's the only thing that I'm gathering from out of this. If Anthony Joshua stated it already, he wants Undisputed. You know, I just read something that he's saying that he wants Undisputed. He's not hearing. I don't care how much you want to be in his ear and talk. Focus on your fight with Deontay Wilder that you got coming up, because AJ got his own plans. And he's been set, and the only thing he kept on saying, keep on saying, is undisputed, undisputed. That's what I keep hearing from the kid. So, Tyson Fury, please don't overlook Deontay Wilder, and don't be too worried about sticking your nose in other people's business. You know, because
please overlook Wilder.
The key,
You want to overlook Wilder.
because I'm gonna tell you something that I've learned. The key to happiness is minding your business.
That's the hardest part about the business.
That's all. That's how I feel.
All right, Ned.
Man, whatever. I don't know. It's like when Tyson Fury gets in front of the media, he just says whatever he wants, and it's always classic Tyson Fury to just blur out whatever's on his mind, whatever. I don't see it make sense for him to say or to tell Joshua relinquish the belts. And honestly, to Joshua, being undisputed is what matters to him. It's not about. He wants to accomplish that goal in his career before. He didn't work this far to just relinquish the belts, just to fight you. He doesn't want. I don't think Joshua just really wants the big fight, but he wants that as an accomplishment in itself. So for Fury to say that is just like outlandish, and it shows he doesn't really respect. Huh? What do you want to say, G?
Nah, I'll go after.
It shows he really doesn't have like a respect for the sport. He's in it for whatever Tyson Fury's in it for, because at this point, he doesn't.
Yeah, this is why I humbly disagree with you, Ned.
What's up?
I think what
The
Fury
views and opinions of Ned do not reflect the boxing pros and the other faces you see on his panel.
First, I'll say this: it makes complete sense to me why Tyson Fury is trying to convince AJ to relinquish those belts, right? Because then, if he does so, they can get the fight popping right now. And that's the only reason why that's what's holding that fight back is the fact of the mandatories. So Tyson Fury is saying, yo, we're not in the business for these belts. We're in the business to make the biggest fights. Logically, that makes sense. You as a boxing fan should want to hear that.
I hear you.
Guys saying, I want to fight the best.
I hear you.
I don't mean to cut you off, G, but I think what Ned was alluding to was the fact that how Tyson Fury is saying, okay, let's get this bag. It's not about the medal. Where Joshua is more like he's been saying he wants to be undisputed, and he's been getting to the M's. So for him, it's not about the money. It's about accomplishing this goal that he has.
Oh, I understand AJ's point of view, but Ned said it doesn't make sense what Tyson Fury said.
No,
it doesn't make sense if you're not looking from his perspective.
For me, it's about him saying Tyson Fury's disrespecting the sport.
Yeah.
That was wild too.
That's a joke in itself, but I just want to distance myself from that statement. I totally disagree with that. You're talking about a man who was over 400 pounds, lost weight, came in, took 2 tune-ups, fought Deontay Wilder within 6 months of being active, and I don't think he's
That's what I'm saying.
But we're also talking about a man who collected the belts. I know he redeemed himself, but I don't want to speak on his past. He did collect the belts, and then he did not actually honor or defend those belts, and he just relinquish those belts as well. So for me, it's just like that history of Tyson Fury where the belts don't matter to him. It shows that he really doesn't I don't know. His passion for it is not there. It's looking like the payday is what really matters to him instead of being.
I'm being honest with you. The reason why I disagree is because I always say this. If I was a boxer, I wouldn't care about the belts either. It's prize fighting. If I could make a career making millions of dollars fighting top names without having to worry about sanctioning fees and worrying about mandatories, and I can do what I want as a boxer, I'll choose that route. You could think about all the champions that we do have, and none of them are making money, bro. You know what I mean? Think about this. We got probably hundreds of champions because there's so many divisions, so many belts. All of these champions,
I know,
not making no bread. So it's why would you live? Why would you be married to a belt?
True,
but married to the belt isn't gonna hold down you and your family. You get what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
Means to the bag.
Yes, but AJ has accomplished
means to the bag.
Yeah,
these belts.
For example, Mayweather, right? He transcended beyond belts. Canelo transcended beyond belts. Even Tyson Fury, he's gonna get there. AJ could get there also. Honestly, AJ's already there, bro. You know what I mean? AJ doesn't necessarily need these belts for people to be like, yo, I gotta watch Anthony Joshua.
He gets the bag.
Once you get to a point where You're now a household name. Once you become a household name in boxing, none of these belts really matter, bro. Like, come on, think about it. Why you think they gave Canelo franchise champ? You see what I'm saying? Like, because they knew, yo, Canelo could give up these belts and it's nothing. But they're like, oh, please, please, please. We still want our name associated with you. Please have this franchise belt. That's all it is, bro. These belts is like, to me, it's almost like monopoly money. Bro.
I hear you, G, but it's real. When I completely agree with you, G. When you're a Mayweather and you're a Canelo, when you had already earned all these accolades and all these belts, but AJ still has goals that he's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, no, I'm saying AJ is like almost there, and I understand because undisputed is a great accomplishment. I think AJ, me personally, AJ should be undisputed. I don't want AJ to relinquish any of those belts because I want him to be a part of that elite class. So AJ should pursue undisputed. But what I'm saying is I'm not mad at what Tyson Fury's saying either because Tyson Fury's like, yo, I don't need these belts to make money. AJ, you should be like me. Now, I don't agree that AJ should be like him, but I can understand Tyson Fury's point of view. Like, Tyson Fury's like, yo, I'm the same guy who won all your belts, and I gave them up, and I'm still the WBC champ. I'm still the lineal champ. Everyone's still talking my name, even though I, quote-unquote, in Ned's words, disrespected the sport. You see what I'm saying? So that should show you these belts don't matter, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I hear you. But I would say let AJ accomplish, like, he worked so hard to get to undisputed. Let them accomplish that first instead of telling the man, relinquish the belt so we could just.
All right, so now think about this. Tyson.
That's not what's important to him right now. It's about being in the history books. You feel me? Huh?
Like if Tyson Fury honestly believes Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua, that means that mega fight is out the window now. Like, think about that.
To Tyson
I don't know
Fury.
if Tyson Fury's even telling the truth, but let's just say Tyson Fury believes Alexander Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua. You know what happens then? Nobody really cares about the Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight. And not to mention, Usyk will have all the belts anyways. You see what I'm saying? So
just because Tyson Fury believes it
doesn't mean it's true.
I know. I don't really believe Tyson Fury believes it. But what I'm saying is, I understand what Tyson Fury is saying. Like, yo, you're the champ. People address you as the champ. The belts don't make you the champ, bro. You're the champ. You can vacate those belts. We can get it popping and make buku money. That's what he's saying. But because we can't, we got Mintz, we got Deontay Wilder, we got Pulev, we got Usyk. That's what's preventing the mega fight. I think Tyson Fury's just saying, yo, let's cut all this riffraff and let's get to the money. That to me is logical, bro. Because again, it's prize fighting. Like, what are we talking about here? That's all I'm saying.
Now, I get what you're saying. It's logical. Like, if AJ didn't already have buku money, if he wasn't already getting to the bag, that's Tyson Fury. Fury is like, I'm trying to get this money because you never know with Tyson Fury. He might beat Deontay and just leave, or he's like, listen, if I can get a guarantee with an AJ to get this bag after that, he might leave. We never know. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a little bit what Ned was alluding to. But just because he says he believes that Usyk can win, Usyk still got to get in there and win. And just because and AJ. He's been getting money. I don't think money is what's on AJ's mind. I think every time you hear him talk, and I just seen the interview with him talk about Undisputed, he literally wants to go down as one of the greats. And it's not about the money with him. Where everybody can't be bought, Some people, it's other things that they want to be. They want to be great. Someone want to go down as being the greats or being known as they being one of the toughest. Everybody got their own thing what they're trying to accomplish.
Quick question. It may not have to do anything, but didn't Tyson Fury sign a 4-fight deal with ESPN, right?
Probably sound like an 8-fight deal.
8-fight?
Something crazy.
8 fights? Oh,
it's not like he still has more fights to go.
I thought it was just like a 4-fight for a certain, and then like he fought Tom Schwartz and Wallin. He fought Wilder, but I think the next Wilder fight would be I thought it was a 4-fight there, but never mind. That has nothing to do with anything. But back to you guys. I was just saying.
All right, so for me, I think it's sad, and this is the issue with boxing. Like, Teddy Atlas yells corruption after like the announcement of every decision, and I don't always agree with Teddy that it was a robbery. Sometimes I think the decision was okay. But where I do feel like sometimes a boxing commission is necessary, our commissioner, someone who makes the final decision, is in times like these. The belts, the sanctioning bodies, they want money. They want money, 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 money. So they don't do what's in the best interest of the sport. Everyone here, I think, would attest what's in the best interest of the sport is to let Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fight for undisputed. Assuming Tyson Fury gets through Deontay Wilder, assuming that Anthony Joshua gets through Kubrat Pulev, right? But we want to see undisputed. I think undisputed is necessary to bring boxing back to its glory days when we always knew who the number one person was, because they would fight and we would see undisputed and then belts would disperse, but there would still be the number one guy who was once undisputed until that guy lost, and then the belts would have to come back together again. And it was just the way it was. But now what we have is everyone making their claim to being the best when we can have it settled in the ring. But what Tyson Fury is saying is correct. And what Anthony Joshua wants to do is correct. The problem is we have a sport that makes it impossible for it to happen. Anthony Joshua should want to be undisputed, and he should be allowed that chance, but he can't, because every time he's trying to get to the undisputed status, there's another belt that one of the belts he holds says, no, you got to fight this guy. No, you got to fight that guy. No, you got to fight this guy. So he can never fight for undisputed, because if he doesn't fight who they tell him to fight, they're going to strip him of the belt, right? So then you have Tyson Fury who's saying, yo, I want to be undisputed, but more than that, I want to be paid for my fights, for the risk that I take in the ring. You telling me I got to fight Joe Schmo, and if Joe Schmo beats me, I lose out on the millions of dollars I was going to make when I fought Anthony Joshua. Why should I have to give up those millions, right, to fight someone who nobody cares about? And that's his standpoint. So I think they're both right. And it's unfortunate that we are in a sport that there's not someone to say, you know what, Pulev, you deserve your shot. Usyk, you deserve your shot. Dillian, you deserve your shot. However, it's in the best interest of our sport for these two guys to fight right now. So we're going to do what's in the best interest of the sport, right? And then you guys can get your shot after. That's it.
Touche.
I agree with that 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
But hold on, one thing about Fury, though. Fury does a classic tactic that I think is hilarious, where it's like, I'm doing this for you because I'm concerned about you. Like, you know, when he really doesn't care. He's doing it for his own interest, but he makes it look like he's doing it. You ever know, like, you ever been in, like, one of those corner stores, the bodegas, anyone? When it was like, yo, how much is this? Oh, for you, Poppy, $2. For you.
Like, bro, it's over $2.
Work for me. Like, these kids can do it for you, right? But really, what he's saying is, I don't want any hiccups, is what he's really trying to say. So I don't necessarily know if he really believes it, but what he's saying is, yo, we're bigger. Our fight is bigger than the belts. And like Trilla's saying, some people need the belts. The belts generate revenue for some people. This fight is bigger than the belts. Mm-hmm. This fight, Fury, Joshua. But everyone can't say forget the belts, right? Like we just saw Jerron Ennis last night. He need a belt. He need a belt. He need to fight someone with a belt, right? For some credibility. And so there lies the thing. It depends on your status where you're at. But Tyson Fury does this thing where he's like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm looking out for you. But really, he's looking out for himself.
Please let us know what you think about us. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. Also, check out our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.
Catch me creeping down the dark street. This is where me and the zombies meet. Guarantee we all gonna eat. It's Zombie Ray again with HD. I'm a zombie in the night, you better run from me. Zombie Ray in the house, you better run, homie. Brought a mask and some gloves with some thugs with me. I came to do damage, you wanna purge with me. Super Saiyan zombie, I'll be